Hi everybody, this is Chef Lance from fieldtotable.com. I'm out here in Texas with the Outdoor Solutions staff and in preparation of a big dinner we're putting together. I'm going to make some bone stock. Most of the time bones end up left on the ground. They end up becoming something left for the coyotes, but we can use the bones in a lot of different ways. The best way to get collagen is to ingest collagen. Collagen is one of those things that is really hard for your body to make on its own, which leads to the popularity of bone stocks today and the health benefits as well. By making your own venison stock, you could reduce this down, make a nice demi-glace, which is what we're going to do in a later recipe, or simply you will have some really good stock to make ramen with. You may ask yourself, how do you go about making bone stock? Well, here we are at step one. We have bones. Step two is we're going to take a little tomato sauce. Nothing fancy, it's just out of a can tomato sauce. And we're going to brush our bones with this before we roast them in the oven. What the tomato sauce is going to do is the acid from the tomatoes are going to open up the pores of the bone so that when we boil these down, what we're going to end up with is a really nice, luscious, collagen-filled stock. Whenever you're using the different bones to make stock, it's great to have these little nuggets of meat on them, because all of these things are going to cook down and they're just going to impart more flavor into whatever application you're going to use these in. So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Just make sure that you have a good coating on these. And once you have them nicely coated to a point that you're going to get these bones kicking out their collagen, it's going to be really luscious and really flavorful. Now that we have our bones with a coating of tomato sauce, we're going to put these in the oven. I have the oven set at 250. These are going to roast in the oven at 250 for about 4.5 hours. So here we are. We have our bones that we roasted overnight, pulled them out of the oven this morning and put them in the fridge to hold them until I could get back to this. What we've done here by roasting them, we've developed a ton of color, and all of that color is going to come out in our final product as flavor. So I'm just going to take our bones and we're going to place them in our stock pot. And again, it's nothing pretty. I like having all these little chunks of meat and the cartilage, because all of this is going to break down and become collagen. So we're just going to add our bones. Another thing that I like to do is I like to take our sheet pan where you have all these drippings. All of this is going to impart flavor on your stock as well. So I just like to take my sheet pan and just set it over the burner. And I'm going to let that go for a minute while I'm chopping up the rest of the vegetables I'm going to put in. So the beauty of making stock as well is it's a great way to clean out your fridge when you have vegetables that maybe are a little past their prime. They're not as pretty as they once were, but they make amazing stock. So again, I'm just going to take these carrots, rough chop them. We're going to add these in. And again, nothing fancy. Everything's just rough chop. I had a shallot. I'm just going to take the shallot, split it down the middle, skin and all, and just throw that in with our stock pot as well. The skins actually impart some flavor into your final product. And we have a batch of green onions that's kind of turned a little bit. So, all I'm doing is just trying to build flavor here. We're going to take our celery, again, just rough chop it. And again, nothing pretty. Add our celery to the mix. Now our pan has heated up, and when we have our pan nice and hot, I'm going to deglaze it with a little white wine. And that's just going to pull all these brown bits up. And that's just going to pull up all the little brown bits that are ultimately going to flavor our stock. And again, be careful when you're doing this. These things are hot. This is a quick way to burn yourself if you're not careful. But you know, again, we just want to get all of that juice and all these little brown bits off of there. Now that we have everything assembled, I'm going to throw in a couple of bay leaves. I just love bay leaves, so 2-3 bay leaves. And now we're going to fill our pot with water. And we're adding just enough water that's going to cover our bones. And we're going to set this off to the side. The key whenever you're making stock, especially if you want to have a nice clear stock, is you never want to bring it to a boil. You always want it to simmer. With these venison bones, I'm going to let these simmer off to the side here, probably for about the next 10 hours, checking it periodically to get any of the foam. The technical term is dépouillage, which translates to skim the scum. So as these things are cooking down, you're going to get like all sorts of little bits floating up to the top from the marrow breaking down in the bones, and once you have that all cleaned off, we're going to strain it, and we'll show you a beautiful, nice, clear stock in the next 10 hours. All right, so we've had our stock cooking for about an hour. This is the point that we want to go in and start to skim the scum. So what we're looking for are just any of these little bits, like the little bits of oil that are purging out of some of the fat. We just want to remove this. And by doing this, we're going to ensure that we have a nice, clear stock when we're done. Okay, so our stock we've had cooking for about 10 hours now. All these bones and cartilage and connective tissues in there have broken down and have imparted their flavor in our finished product. So our next step is we're going to strain it. So I like to use two different types of strainers. The first one being what's called a China cap, which has larger holes that'll let bigger particles go through, and then I like to follow that up with a Shenhua, which is a very fine mesh strainer, and it's going to pull out a lot of things down to like the sizes of a grain of pepper if you didn't want that to make it into your stock. And understanding these are some specialized tools that probably 99% of people do not have in their home kitchen. You can use just a standard kitchen strainer and do double passes. So on the first pass, you go with the strainer as is, you throw out any of the bigger particulate, then you come behind this with some cheesecloth, and that's going to be enough to get you a nice fine mesh strain, and you're going to remove a lot of unwanted particulate. For this step, it's important to have a vessel that's big enough to hold your contents when you're straining. What I did here is I put the China cap inside the Shenhua, and that's gonna, and again, all of the big items I don't want are just gonna hang up in here, and I'll get my finer mesh to catch all the stuff I do want. So, in remembering to be very careful, we're working on a counter, but it's also not the worst thing in the world to set a sheet pan on your floor and then set your vessel into the sheet pan on the floor. That way, if you do overspill, you're not gonna have hot stock all over your floor. So now what you see, we just have our bones and other big things that we don't want left, and you can take the vegetables have given everything they can give, so there's nothing really you can gain by saving this. Okay, so what we have here is in glass A. It's an example of our stock when we first started it about hour 1, and as you can tell, it's cloudy. It's got a lot of big particulate floating in it. It's not very appealing. And this is our finished product after it's run through the strainer. And as you can see, you got a much darker, richer color, and you don't have the same particulate floating around. That's gonna make a really nice stock. Quite honestly, you could almost take this as is and make ramen with it right now with little to no effort. One tip for stock is after you make it, put it in ice trays and freeze it in ice trays, and then you can store those in storage bags, and each ice cube is roughly a tablespoon. So that's a great way to store your stuff in a pre-measured quantity to where you don't have to thaw out a gallon bag of stock to just use a few tablespoons. Be sure to follow us as we take our venison stock to the next level when Margie makes a outstanding venison Wellington with our stock that's been reduced to a demi-glace. Thank you for tuning in today. If you enjoy this video and content that we have out, be sure to like our video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell for notifications as we are constantly working to bring you new content.